Welcome back once again to Songs and Stories, West Virginia. Hello, everybody. This is Andy Benson back again with Songs and Stories, West Virginia. And today with us we have Joe Kreitz. How are you, sir?
Doing all right. Just drove in from where was I? Is it White House or
Whitehall.
Whitehall?
Whitehall,
from
that's it.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I drove like on these really man, I was in some back roads there. Coon Holler or
Oh,
something.
yeah,
I
Coons
came
Run
through.
Road.
Yeah,
Yep,
there
I
you
know exactly where you was at. So you're from, Petersburg area, right? Is that where you're from?
Yes, Petersburg, West Virginia. Not too far from Dolly Sods, really.
Oh, nice.
That's how most people would know it.
Yeah, how's that, how is it living over there?
It's nice. It's well, I mean, it is nice. I like it there, but it's very secluded, like especially in the musician world. Like, there's not a lot going on.
That was my follow-up question.
That's why I drove 2 hours to come here.
That's fine. So I've actually played in Petersburg once.
Okay. All right, where'd you play at?
We played at the it's the McCoy Theater, right?
Oh, okay, that'd be Moorfield.
Moorfield.
That
That's
would
right.
be
Moorfield. not
only
Petersburg.
about
Yeah,
12 miles
they're
away.
right there,
Yeah.
close. Yep.
Yeah,
Moorfield.
I remember that. I was actually just talking to a friend last night in my hotel room. We were talking about that when you came there.
That was so Taylor invited me down for that, and we did a writers round down there, and I took Austin Glasspool and Alistair Stolas rode with me.
Okay.
And you can, those of you who know those two guys, you can imagine the conversations on the way over the mountain were entertaining for sure. Those guys are great.
Uh-huh.
They're funny.
Yeah.
They're funny, especially my buddy Alistair. Have you come across him any?
No.
Oh, he's a good dude, man. He's a trip. He's last I heard he was still in Florida.
Oh,
I don't know
okay.
if he's heading back up home soon or not, but it was a cool time over there, man. Everybody over there seemed to be pretty nice. Everybody seemed to be pretty laid back for the most part, and they enjoyed the music. It seemed like so.
Yeah, the music the music scene is kind of, they're building it up right now. Like McCoy's theater is really kicking it into gear with a lot of things lately, and Landis Art Center is another place, and that's where I live in Petersburg.
Okay.
Those are the two big theaters in the area, and there's a push to
Sure.
get better.
Yeah.
There's a push to get better. We've got a lot of tourists that come through, because I'm right there at the bottom of Dolly Sod,
Sure,
so
yeah.
people come like crazy for that, and
Yeah.
snowshoe resort.
I was going to ask. You're probably not far from that area.
Blackwater Falls.
Yeah.
People roll through all the time for stuff like that, so they're trying to make the area, a lot more fun for people. Just they want people to stop instead of just
Sure.
drive through.
Absolutely. I mean, and it's a pretty part of the world, that when they put that 4-lane in there too, it makes it driving nice through there. I mean, you just breeze right on through. We go up to Mount Storm and dropped over his way. I don't know which way you come in.
That's the way. Yeah, that's the way I came here, because I was going through Morgantown. Now,
Yeah.
if I go back home, I'm not sure how I'm going to go home, but maybe the shorter way would be like to go through Elkins.
Through Elkins?
Yeah. And I might stop at Elkins anyway.
There
first.
you go. That's the gateway to everywhere.
I hear there. It seems like Big Timber or something over there.
Yeah, Big Timber
where
Brewing.
people are playing.
Yeah.
So I'm hustling.
Yeah.
Trying
absolutely.
to get into some places to play. It's,
Well, good deal. We'll get you. We'll get the word out right now. So if you're looking to book, so stick around to the end of the episode and you get to hear a little bit of a little song from him here. We'll see what we're into. So hopefully, I like to drop that on you guys. And,
Sure. Yeah.
So it's always a good time. I love this. My favorite part about the podcast is the before and after.
Oh, okay.
You get to cut up a little bit before, and then after, somebody plays a song, and then it always turns into a little picking and passing tunes and talking, and it's pretty cool, man. I've had people come down and spend 3 or 4 hours after the show, and I'm like, hey, this is really cool, but you got to go home now. Like it's a school night. Like I don't know what's
Yeah. I can imagine.
No, that's what it's about, though. It's about those songs and stories.
Yeah.
Right? Know what it's about?
Yeah.
So how long you been playing music, Joe?
A long time. I was kind of inspired to play at about 13 or so.
Okay.
And I'm a lot older than that now, 41. So I kind of grew up in the Christian crowd.
Okay.
Church heavy church attender.
Sure.
When I was growing up,
Yeah.
that was like,
Same.
Sunday, Wednesday, you were in church.
Yep.
And I wasn't necessarily allowed to listen to a lot of music. So Christian music was actually kind of my gateway into like rock and roll,
Sure. Yeah.
because back in the late '90s,
It was like
that
DC
was kind of a
Talk and
boom. Oh
yeah.
yeah, DC.
Yeah.
That yeah. So I was at my church took a trip to King's Dominion for King's Fest. Did you ever go to that?
No.
Okay, well, just like a big Christian music festival,
Sure.
basically. And at this point, like I didn't. My mom played like church piano. My dad played bluegrass, which I love bluegrass. But when you're 13 years old, you don't
You
like
don't look.
bluegrass.
That's
You think
exactly
it's
right.
lame. So
My 13-year-old upstairs would back that up. She would.
well, when you grow up, you're trying to find your own way, and a lot of times people tend to, want to find their own path and not necessarily go along with what their parents are doing.
Sure.
So anyway, I find myself at King's Dominion, and I happened to see some bands that were really good. Stephen Curtis Chapman,
Okay.
Jars of Clay,
Yep.
and then DC Talk.
Yep.
DC Talk was you just great, and then when I went there, I didn't even know who they were,
Sure.
and but I still remember walking into that amphitheater, and I'd never even been to a place like this before. I'd never even been to amphitheater, but it's like an outdoor amphitheater, and there's like a hill surrounding it, I guess, so you can't like actually see the stage unless like you walk up over this hill. It's almost like a levee around it or whatever it
Yeah.
is. And, I guess that's how amphitheaters work. And so I remember walking up over this hill and then just like seeing like rock and roll in action for the first time. And I'm
Nice.
like, it was like an otherworldly experience. And I think the most important thing was most of these people were like really rocking out with acoustic guitars and not electric guitars, which at that point, I I kind of thought like electric guitar was really cool,
Sure.
and acoustic guitars were like bluegrass old man stuff. So that was a big realization. Is like, oh hey, my dad's got a guitar behind the door right now, an acoustic guitar. I can do cool stuff with that.
Yeah.
So I went home and started practicing, and never really stopped since then. So that's my how I got into the crazy world of music.
That's cool. And it's interesting. There's I think a lot of especially Appalachia. A lot of folks end up starting off in church. I was the same way. I was a music kid from very young, but it was funny. My grandmother and her sister played in church every Sunday, so I just got used to watching them play guitar and sing. It was just two acoustic guitars, and they would sing. And we didn't have a piano. I was going to church, and it was in some guy's house at the time. Like we'd go like Saturday night, Sunday morning, Wednesday evening. It was like
Yeah.
same, very much the same. But
Yeah.
as I got older, we ended up at a bigger church in Fairmont where I met the Battens. Actually, shout out Jeremy Batten specifically, still really hammering music these days. And I've not really had a chance to cross paths with him in a lot of years, but I try to keep an eye on what he's doing. But they're the kind of the ones that introduced me to that, that contemporary Christian rock stuff. I would have never known about it had we not ended up at their dad's church for all those years. And that was my first experience on stage, other than me being, a punk little kid singing in a home video in a windowsill of a single wide trailer, screaming Weird Al songs when I was like
Oh
5.
wow, that sounds like
But it's
pretty epic.
Yeah, it's interesting to see. Those progressions are always really neat, and it's funny. It's funny now looking back, and you may experience this as well. But as a kid, you mentioned earlier, you're just 13, you don't like bluegrass. But, I look back and think of the stuff that I didn't like, and I'm like, man, it's had so much of an influence on me anyways.
Oh yeah,
It's
absolutely.
weird how that works,
Yeah.
and you get older and you're like, no, I understand this now. I don't know why I didn't understand it then,
Yeah.
but I do now.
Yeah, I mean, I almost think like bluegrass is almost like rock and roll. Like, I mean,
Oh
it's like
yeah,
freaking awesome.
yeah,
By the time I was born, I guess it had gotten older, and it was kind of the old thing.
sure.
But like, if you hear a lot of the notes that they're playing, I mean, they're playing the notes, man. Like all the real dissonant stuff that comes into,
Yeah,
they're just like that's the cool stuff.
and
But
man,
yeah,
a good flat picker just
oh
you can
yeah,
put
uh,
anything in their hands and they're gonna play it. I
yeah.
was having that conversation with a friend of mine recently. The guy's just starting to learn to play guitar, and I'm like, listen, look into that the flat picking and that kind of stuff. I said, you'll see
Hmm.
guys from other genres struggle with that. You hardly ever see a really good picker like look Billy Strings.
Yeah,
The guy can play anything.
yeah.
There's it's weird. It's weird to see that crossover. You put Brad Paisley is another one of those guys. It's the
Oh
chicken
yeah,
pick
yeah.
and the just that country that honky tonk style. It's like
Yeah.
they can play anything.
Oh
It's
yeah.
it's crazy.
Yeah.
I like to watch those YouTube videos where they'll take like a jazz guitarist and make him do a song in a different style.
Oh,
You ever
okay.
seen those
No,
videos?
I've never seen
They'll
them.
take like 4 or 5 professional recording, musicians and make them record things in styles outside of their wheelhouse, and it's pretty interesting. It's cool to see the directions that some of them go to. Their interpretation of songs are
Yeah, I can imagine.
it's pretty neat. It's pretty neat.
Nice. Yeah.
So you started at 13. So what got you into performing? When did that happen?
Well, there was actually I was really into playing and learning, and then around that time there was another local band in my town called Luminous. uh, Kurt Tompkins, Kenny Tompkins, you know those
Mm-mm.
names?
No.
Okay, they were really good, and they had a band that was like kind of, I guess, hard rock, I guess you would call it. And they played a lot of covers like Weezer and that kind of stuff. But they also had their originals, and they were just really good. And I went to see them play, and I just love live music,
Sure.
like because there's like an energy there that's really awesome. So with the crowd and then the band and everything, someone's not happy, and
That's my unofficial co-host. That's
oh, okay.
Annabelle. So she just guarding. She's making sure we're safe down here in the from intruders.
So I forget where I was going with that, but
The band.
yeah. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So seeing them, it just really reinforced, like, yeah, that's what I want to do.
Sure.
So
Yeah.
so then I started my own little band and found some friends and started doing my own thing. And then after high school, I took a year and went to the Atlanta Institute of Music.
Oh,
I don't
okay.
know if you
Cool.
heard of AIM.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It's a little, it's probably completely different now. I went there in 2004, and it was just as a little old school, but they only taught guitar, bass, and drums, and they just basically taught you how to play music and be in a band, and it was almost like a boot camp
That's neat.
for those three instruments.
Hell yeah.
So that really helped me a lot.
And that's way better than the education I got.
Sipping moonshine around a campfire,
Oh,
play.
buddy, yeah, and that wasn't even campfires. They were house fires, I think. So, my early years of playing music were a little wild. So, I tied in with some guys that were considerably older than me that used to play all the shoot and stab honky tonks, and
Oh,
I
okay.
cut my teeth on that kind of stuff. But I'm always interested to hear when people get, especially with what they're doing in Morgantown now with that School of Music that WVU has.
Oh yeah,
That
like
big
Josh
music
and them.
program, yeah. So I mean, and a lot of these kids are coming up,
Yeah.
and they're thrust right into the world of music and business and everything. And I can't tell you how many times I haggled with somebody over $25 or a bar tab for I'm like I gotta at least get gas to come out here, man. Like, but
They didn't want to pay you that, huh?
no,
Oh wow.
no. So most of the time they don't want to pay you at all.
Oh wow.
But it's interesting to see. Just on the learning aspect of it, how understanding music changes the way that you write or changes the way that you compose or the way that you approach songwriting. I know so many people that, arguably were creative before they learned, and so many people that learned first and then became creative. And it's a different avenue that people take, and that's something that I like to dig into sometimes on the show too. Is is do you have, a process? Is there a creative process when you write? Is there procedurally, how does that affect the way that you play? Or
For
does it?
writing songs.
Yeah.
Um, okay, so basically, my whole life I've been, I want to say lazy, but that's probably not true. I would say like because I've always had like the inspirations,
Sure.
the sudden inspirations that you get while you're driving down the road, or the things that happen when you're least expecting it, where you're like,
Right.
"Wow, that's a cool line," or
Yeah.
whatever. I've always had that, and I've always um, tried to, work on it a little bit, but I never got to the point for most of my life. I never got to the point where it's like, okay, we have some inspiration here. This could be a really good song, but now this is where the hard work comes in to seal it all up and make it all a song.
Sure.
I never got past that point for like 20 years. Really, I mean, I had some really good ideas and everything, but I was really bad at like just following through and finishing. It's almost like I didn't even know how to do it, if that makes any sense. Or,
Sure.
well, I guess my mind kind of ate me alive, and it's like, I tried so hard for a while, and then it's like, yeah, this sucks.
Yeah.
And then I went on to the next one, and then, just kept doing that. Years and years and years roll by, and it's like, yeah, I never really accomplished hardly much of anything
Sure.
really as far as that. And that's where my new record came from about like 3 years ago. It's like, okay, I'm almost 40 now. I'm writing songs. I don't care if they suck or not. I'm writing them and I am recording them. It doesn't matter if it's a bad song. It doesn't matter if it's the worst thing I've ever written, but it's going to happen.
Sure.
It's going to get recorded.
Absolutely.
So I finally got to that point, and decided I was going to. I needed a goal, so I was like, okay, I live in West Virginia. I'm writing a record about West Virginia,
Right.
and that was just my goal. It was something that came to mind, and I stuck with it for a few years. So, but yeah, it was a struggle my whole life to really. I definitely wasn't someone who was just naturally gifted to just constantly write stuff. Like it was a struggle
Sure.
till I found my groove.
Right. Absolutely. So just out of curiosity, when you went to the Music Institute, was that something that they were there any kind of was there any kind of creative course, or was it all pretty well music instruction? Was it, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, I'm trying to think.
I'm trying to think of how to phrase that question.
There wasn't. I mean, all right. So the Atlanta Institute of Music, when I went there, there's really good musicians that were professional musicians that were the teachers there. They were good. There were a lot of jazz players and stuff like that. Um, it wasn't about songwriting though. It had nothing to do with that. It was about how to be as best as you could be on your instrument,
Sure.
which for me was guitar.
Right.
So that helped me a lot. I mean, I'm still not absolutely amazing player or anything, but it really like when it was over, I was actually exhausted and I thought I hated it, and I thought I may have even wasted my time because it's like it was so intense that it almost made me not like playing music anymore just because it was so hard.
I've heard that from some people that have gone to music. They
Yeah.
almost it took the fun out of it. It
Right.
became almost a chore.
Yeah,
And
and when you learn like the theory about around everything, like when you're young and you just pick up guitar and you're playing crap that and chords that you don't even know what they are, and you're
Yeah.
just like just for the joy of it, like everything just sounds amazing. And then to me when I learned the theory behind everything, it's almost like it turned it into like almost like a little scientific math problem or something that
Sure.
wasn't necessarily as enjoyable because I knew too much about it.
Yeah.
Now, and it took me some years to get out of that. And now I'm glad that I went there, and now I'm glad that
Sure.
I understand how all the components of music work. But it really threw me for a loop, honestly.
Yeah.
For a few years, I had to. After about 5 or 10 years after the school was over, I kind of looked back on it, and I'm like, okay, yeah, I see how that really helped me. But at the time, it was strange. It was strange.
I have a very basic understanding of theory, like a very basic understanding, and it's funny because I've always kind of surrounded myself with guys that had a little more knowledge,
Yeah.
but I usually don't when I'm writing something, like you said, I'm just playing. I just
Yeah.
play, and it comes up. And there'll be times when I get stuck. I'm thinking, oh man, I need something else here, and I'll ask my buddy, and I'll go, hey, what makes sense in this? And he'll go, oh well, this is a 7, and if your progression is a 1, a 5, and a 6, and you could throw a 2 in there, whatever he may be. And it's like I don't, my brain doesn't work that way, so it's always interesting to me to see how people utilize that for the creative process, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
That's kind of where I was trying to head with that whole angle there, but my brain's for some reason not functioning this morning. I haven't had all this caffeine down yet.
I got 1 cup of coffee before I came here, so I'm kind of functioning.
Yeah, I wish I
halfway.
liked coffee more. I don't. I don't.
Oh yeah.
I don't. My wife would drink coffee all day, every day, and I'm like, man.
Growing up, I hated it.
Yeah.
And I never drank it, and I was kind of proud of myself that I was the person that didn't drink coffee.
Right.
Because it seemed like a lot of people did, and then this actually comes into the next part of my life. After music school, I was completely lost in life. And just had odds and end jobs and stuff, and then ended up getting married, and having a baby, and then so I was in this world of needing to find a job, and I don't know how this happened, but somehow I got into law enforcement and worked for the sheriff's department for like 9 years.
Okay, cool.
So it was never an aspiration, but it was just like.
Sure.
I'm the kind of person, I got to have something going on. I got to have a goal, something crazy happening.
Sure, yeah.
So somehow I got into law enforcement, and I went to the police academy in Charleston and whatever, institute. And you're pretty sleep deprived. Actually, you're very sleep deprived when you go to the police academy. It's kind of like a military boot camp.
Sure.
And when I started going there, I'd never drank coffee up until that time, but at that point, when they gave you a break and they gave you a cup of coffee, it was like heaven came down from earth and filled up that cup, and like it was like the best thing that you could possibly imagine. And so, like ever since then, I've drank it. That was when I got hooked, I guess.
That's funny. That's funny. So that's crazy. You were in law enforcement for that. That's cool. You worked.
Yeah, sheriff's department.
Sheriff's department over in what county is that? That's
Grant.
That's Grant County. Okay.
Yeah, I probably went to the academy with some people around here. What county is this?
Harrison.
Mm-hmm. I know I went with some Harrison guys, but it's hard to remember their names.
What year was it? Because I almost went.
Oh yeah,
I did. Yeah, I went to college for criminal justice and tested a couple places,
kidding.
and I ended up withdrawing an application from somewhere that was going to offer me the job after the fact, and at this point in my life, I'm probably glad that I didn't do it.
Well, I probably should have done what you did.
Yeah.
But I didn't because I had a mouth to feed. And
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and listen, understand that, man. I spent a long time chasing a check, whatever was consistent, whatever I knew was going to bring money in, and then I got to be, I'll be 39 here pretty soon, and I'm like, I don't have another 39 years of working in me if I can help it. You know what I mean? Like I'd like to be able to stop one of these days, and all that check chasing didn't really put anything into retirement for me. So
it didn't.
No. So I told my wife, I'm like, I'm gonna have to take a punch in the gut to somewhere to losing a little bit of money just to be able to for some stability, which I think I found. But and super cool the schedule that I have now, as I work 3 days on, 4 days off.
Oh, well, that's nice.
So I will have time to get back to my normal
that's really cool.
routine. I'll be having more time for the podcast, more time
nice.
for music again. So I'm very happy the way that it ironed out. And for those of you who are listening and realize we didn't have an episode last month, I do apologize for that. But my life has been a whirlwind. You ever just wake up one day and think, man, I am not in control of. I'm just watching life through my eyes right now.
Yeah.
That's how the last 4 months of my life have been. It's been like, what the fuck has been going on? Like, it's like I just woke up one day and I was like, have I been asleep since 2025? Like, what happened?
Oh yeah.
My goodness. Hey, that sounds like a song.
Yeah, we're on to something. Cut this thing off and let's get the guitar.
Yeah, that's right. So you mentioned you released an album.
Yeah.
You working on something new too, aren't you?
I don't know. I mean, I'm definitely writing new songs, and I'm already starting on the next project. But the album is what I've actually been writing the songs and releasing them incrementally
Okay,
for
yeah.
the last several years, and then at the end, I'm just like, okay, it's a
Pile them
record
all
now.
together. Yeah, yeah,
I
sure.
think there was like one on there that wasn't previously released, but I put them all together into one album, and that recently released just about probably a month ago or so. So excited about that. Excited to say I accomplished something
Heck yeah.
musically. That's like a milestone. But yeah, definitely not resting on my laurels. I'm on to the next song. Some of my best ideas I feel like come to me when I'm driving. And actually on the way here yesterday, I
Yes.
was like, I started working on this like banger that I absolutely love. It's kind of yeah. So
Those are the great. Those are good. You get an idea and you can't get it out of your head, and you're like, "Oh man, this is gonna be cool." It always stresses me out every time I've done that. I've played it for somebody, and I'm like, "This is awesome," and they're like, "Yeah, it's pretty good." I'm like,
well, hey.
first of all, fuck you, because I thought it was super cool. So
Well, hey, I read a story one time about um, Jack White did that with
Okay.
I don't know if you've heard this with Seven Nation Army, and that he was playing the dun, dun, dun,
Yeah.
dun, and it was the same thing. We're like, it's all right, whatever. And now it's like part of our culture. Like
Right.
everyone knows that. So if someone says that, that doesn't mean anything.
Right.
And actually, one of my songs off of my record, a similar thing happened to me where I played. I don't know if I played it for a friend of mine. I think I did, or at least shared the lyrics. But I probably played the whole song, and like I got a response like that, like,
Yeah.
it's all right, or whatever.
Yeah.
And then, but. And it almost made me decide, like, maybe it's not good enough.
Sure.
But I, I'm getting older, so I'm like, I'm putting songs out. I don't care if they're good or not. And actually, that song is probably my favorite song off the record. And actually, it sparked a whole lot of cool stuff that I never could have imagined. The bass player that played with me last year was he's the teacher for the deaf and blind school in
Okay.
Romney.
Yeah.
And he really liked that song.
Sure.
That I ended up. It's called "Here in West Virginia," and it was inspired, and it's kind of loosely based upon the idea of what JFK said back in the 1960s. The sun does not always shine in West Virginia, but the people always do.
Nice. Yeah.
And so he was the one who said that. I don't
Yes.
know.
I've seen that.
And so when I heard that, it's just I don't know. An idea for a song came to my mind, and that was his favorite song that we played, and he's somehow got it to where his students went down to the Capitol building in Charleston and sang that song. Along with some other West Virginia theme songs, like right there in the Capitol building, and I was just like, I cannot believe this.
And
Like,
that is cool.
I never would have imagined that, especially a song that I almost thought wasn't even good enough
Yeah.
to put out. It's like the one that really connects with people.
It's funny how, and we talk, this is something else we talk about a lot is, it's almost like, songs end up having legs of their own. Like
Yeah.
some of them, some songs just needed to exist. We just have the privilege of being the catalyst.
Yeah.
It's interesting to, it's, Michael Stewart mentioned one time at a live show that it was like, it's like conduit.
Yeah.
Like electricity, you know what I mean? We're just
Right.
passing on that message, and it's pretty neat. So that reminds me, one of the questions that I like to ask a lot on the live show is, does being from West Virginia, specifically, in Appalachia, could be part of the question, but does that affect the way that you write or the way that you even look at songwriting?
Yeah, I would say so. Of course, because we in West Virginia we've got definitely a a small town vibe going on here. Like there's really no cities here in the entire state.
Sure. Yep. Why is it even before we come down? You're like, hey, am I missing something, or is Shinston just small? And I'm like, no, it's just small, man. You can see it all from my front porch.
Well. I mean, to me, it seems so strange when I went up to the park. It's like there's this huge park with this huge stage, and then it's like, is it just all for this tiny little town?
Well, and so from what I understand, I don't know if this is 100% true, but I've been told that is the largest outdoor venue in Harrison County.
Probably so.
Is Ferguson Memorial, and I mean, it's a beautiful area. I mean, that amphitheater is
it's nice,
wonderful. I've had the privilege of playing there a couple of times.
Oh yeah, okay.
And it's, man, the sound is always great. You know, the crowd's always great. I wish Shinston wasn't programmed to go to Bridgeport for everything.
Oh, are they?
Oh God, absolutely. You go to city functions and it's the same 30 people at everything, and then everybody else is bitching. There ain't nothing to do in Shinston. I'm like, well, I've been at something every weekend, and you just ain't been here. You know,
it's tough.
It's hard.
The music business is very, very tough. You gotta have thick skin, and when you put on events, like, it's really hard to get people to come out for it.
Well, it is, especially now.
My area, anyway.
Especially now. I mean, everything's at your fingertips.
Right.
You've got the world's catalog of infinite knowledge, and you don't have to leave your house.
Right.
And I'm not saying people are lazy, but yeah, people are lazy.
Well,
they want it. I won't say lazy. I'll say immediate gratification.
I'd say, it might be lazy because like, you're gonna have a better time if you go to an event where there's people there, where there's other people there, because there's an energy that you're not going to get on your iPad.
Sure.
Like, there's just it's great time, but yeah, but you have to get up, get out of your pajamas.
Yep.
And you have to, and I'm the same way. You got to spend money to go there,
Yep.
even if it's just a little bit. You got to spend a little money, and sometimes it's easy just to say, yeah. But that's how I ended up at Shindy Fest last year. I mean, it's like probably to here is probably like a 2.5 hour drive from where I live, but I just like decided I'm going to start going to shows. There's really none where I live, so I'm going to start going to shows and trying to show up and watch as many people that I can, especially artists that are from West Virginia. Since I'm doing a West Virginia themed record, I just want to be there for West Virginia as much as I can during this time. And so that's why I ended up at Shindy Fest, and that was great. Loved it. It was a great show.
It's been a cool lineup every year.
Yeah.
I played the first 2 years that we've had it. This will be the 4th year, I think.
Really? 4th year, huh?
I think. Well, let me take that back. This is year 3. The first year I played was still Frontier Days. We used to have a Frontier Days thing here, and it's been on and off throughout my lifetime. But for instance, what people are missing out on is when you're not going to see these local West Virginia bands. Charles Wesley Godwin played right here in the middle of Shinston.
Did he?
Probably 12 years ago.
Yeah.
For free.
Oh, yeah?
Just down here on that little tiny stage in the green space. Did you go by the restaurant down here by the car lot, the little car lot in town?
Yeah, probably.
There's just a weird random stage in the middle of town right there.
Okay, I didn't see it, but
yeah,
okay.
Right in that area, he played, a free show, and nobody cared.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And it's like, wait a minute, now you don't jump on the bandwagon now, bunch of assholes. But it's funny to It's always interesting to see that, like the picture of Tyler Childers playing in that loaded cafe and nobody's paying attention.
Yeah.
And that guy's won Grammys, and he's one of the biggest selling country artists in the world.
It's kind of encouraging to see stuff like that.
It is,
because it's like,
really
okay,
is.
well, even they struggled.
Yeah. You ever seen the movie Crazy Heart? Jeff Bridges and Colin Farrell.
Probably not. I don't watch a lot of movies,
great.
But I might now that you recommend it.
It's like 2010.
Okay.
It's about a struggling country musician that's on
I'm
this
aware of it. I don't think I've seen it.
So Ryan Bingham wrote The Weary Kind for that. He wrote most of the music for that, and I think he won an Academy Award for his part in the movie or whatever. He may have won a Grammy for that song in particular, but it's kind of like that. It's kind of like, here's this guy that's on his last leg. He's playing bowling alleys and nobody's listening, and he's kind of trying to relive the past. He's like, he was the biggest country star on earth, whatever.
I may have seen that, yeah.
It's great, man. Yeah. Colin Farrell's coming up, and he's like, nobody writes good songs. It's all garbage. He's like, I want you to write me a song. Yeah. And that's what the whole movie's kind of about, this guy's pursuit, in life as a person. He's alcoholic. He's fighting love and fighting all this, and he writes the perfect song, and everybody has a happy ending, whatever. But
of course,
it's not like real life. but it's interesting to see, because here's this guy that was on top of the world at one time, and now he's playing for 5 people in a bowling alley, and nobody gives a shit.
Mm-hmm.
And a year and a half later, he's fallen off the wagon, and here he is back on the big stage again, and he's got his big paycheck, and he's reclaimed all of his former glory, and it's a great movie, and the music in it's phenomenal.
Yeah,
I've covered a few songs from that movie over the years, and nobody ever gets it.
Yeah,
and I'm like, dude, there's so much good music in that movie. But that was Ryan Bingham had a lot to do with that, but. It's definitely one, if you're feeling down on music, when you throw that in and you're like, oh man, I'm Bad Blake today. Like, this is cool as shit. Like, I'm gonna go.
That might be my movie tonight.
There you go. It's a good one. So you said you're still working on releasing some of these singles, right? Are you?
Well,
okay.
No, I mean, I'm always going to be releasing music.
There's nothing like strategically planned at the moment.
But I'm not releasing anything from the record that just came out.
Okay.
It's out.
Okay.
You can stream it and everywhere. So yeah.
Make sure I'll check it out, and I'll make sure to tie it in and tag it in all the posts and stuff.
Cool. Yeah.
So we can check that stuff out. Now you had some special guests on there, right? Did you have a song that you released with?
Yeah. With
did you and Grace do one?
Grace. Yes. Yeah. Well, yeah. I was at your event.
Yes, absolutely.
I was at your event at the Encore, and I'd been writing that song, and I just really wanted to collaborate with at least one person from West Virginia on my record. It was just like a goal. Like, I can, I don't know. Sometimes I like to have goals, and I just heard this female voice, and then when I heard her play there, I knew she had a great voice, and really liked the vibe of the songs that she makes. They're kind of jazzy, rockish sounding. I don't even know what you call it, but
yeah, it's got like a 70s kind of feel to it. Yeah, Grace is great.
Yeah, and but I'm nobody from Nowheresville, so I didn't really know if she would be interested in singing with me. But I thought about it and made my pitch, and she went for it. But it's a goal of mine to dream big and go for it. So like, I think a lot of times you don't get anything done just because at least me anyway, just because you're kind of afraid to try anything. Like, so, and I've learned this through studying people and reading books the last like 5 or 6 years or so, that the people who get a lot of stuff done are not afraid. They're not afraid of failure.
Absolutely.
And when you're in music, man, you cannot be afraid of rejection and failure, because if so, it's going to just completely destroy you. And I've kind of like made it a goal that, like, if I'm not getting rejected, then I'm not pushing hard enough. So almost make it like a positive thing. All right, like I asked that guy to play that venue, and he told me no. So I know that I'm going up to the very edge of what I'm capable of, and I'm not being a wuss and not trying.
Sure.
I'm not in my little comfort zone playing the easy places. I'm trying to push. So I've tried to reframe in my mind like rejection. And I think that's important for a musician, or it's gonna be rough.
I think it's super important in art in general, because not everybody's going to get it. Right. Not everybody likes the same. I would never. There's certain venues that I don't even consider playing, because I know what I do well is just not what they want. It's not what they're going to go over with. Why am I gonna play a bunch of grungy old country music to people that don't like it? Yeah, they're not. You know what I mean? Like, whether the people that do like that crowd like what I'm doing or not, or if they enjoy it, that's another story. But at least I'm putting myself in a position where I'm playing to the folks that I think are going to consume it anyways. I want to surround myself with like-minded people. You share in art.
Yeah.
Especially when you're producing something and you're putting things out that are original, that have a part of you in there, you want people to share with that.
Yeah.
I don't particularly listen to certain genres of music, and it's not because I don't appreciate them or think they're, unskilled or untalented. I just don't enjoy them.
Yeah.
That's just not pleasing to my ear or whatever. But, that doesn't mean that somebody else isn't.
Yeah.
So why wouldn't you go where you're appreciated?
Yeah.
And I tell you, one of the most important lessons I ever learned in my adult life is that time, patience, and perseverance, you can accomplish anything.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
there's
That's
a lot. Yeah,
and
sure.
that's it took me a long time. I was one of those guys that I was always preparing to do something. I just got to get in a good place to do it. I got to get. I'm like, piss on that. If I have an idea now, I'm just doing it.
Yeah.
The end. If I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna find the way to do it. You're sitting in this studio that I never would have dreamed 5 years ago was ever going to exist. I cringe a little bit when I call myself a producer because you know what I mean. Like I do the bare minimum to make this bearable for people to listen. You know what I mean? I'm not, nobody's calling me to record their albums. Nobody's calling me, and I would tell you no. You know what I mean? Like I can't do that stuff. Like I'm just learning now to make it passable. But at the same time, 3 or 4 years ago, I wouldn't even know what button to hit to get GarageBand to open up. Like it's just ridiculous things. But I knew that out of necessity, I had to do those things.
Yeah.
And I try to learn something every episode, and I try to make that. I started this journey for West Virginia music. In my mind, I was kind of like, what would be the perfect gig for me to play as a songwriter? Because I spent a lot of time playing cover music to people that only wanted cover music.
Yeah.
They wanted a jukebox, and I'm like, I don't want to be a jukebox anymore. And what's the perfect thing you could do, like a writer's round?
Yeah.
And this is what progressed into that. We talked about this briefly earlier before we started. When I started the live show, it caters to the singer-songwriter. People that sit up front, they strum, they play, they pick, they sing, whatever. But we've got all the, the metal guys or the rock guys or the rappers or the, whatever it may be that write collectively or write as a band or write these big productions that don't have the same place to fit in that live show. Where I feel like this replaces that. I can bring somebody in and go, hey, listen, tell me about your music. And they don't have to sit on a stool with a guitar and explain it to me. So we can, we can throw a song on. We can link to whatever. We can link to their newest project, or I've even had guys send me master copies, and I'll plug it right into the episode and go, this is what you're looking for. Because West Virginia music isn't just singer-songwriters.
Yeah.
It's not. I mean, you know what I mean? So like that was my idea in coming here, and now I feel like I've put myself in a position where this has become bigger than me, and I have to keep going. And trust me, I think a lot about dumping this show off. I love it.
Of course.
It's become a huge part of my life.
Yeah.
And when things get hard and when shit gets weird, I'm like, this is the first thing I think about. Like, I could just sell all this stuff, and we could just stop. Nobody's going to care. And every time I think that, somebody calls me, and they go, man, I love what you're doing. And I'm like, I'm not doing anything. I'm giving people a soapbox to stand on, I guess, for a minute. You know what I mean? Like
you are. You're a place. All the artists in West Virginia need something like this, and you're the one doing it. So
I appreciate it. I like I said, it's just sometimes I wonder. Sometimes I look at
I know how it goes.
You know exactly how it is.
Have you read? Do you read books?
I do. I did drive considerably for work, a ton. So I did a lot of audio books for a long time.
Same here.
Because people get mad when you read and drive.
Yeah. Oh, people are so ridiculous. The War of Art, is that what it's called, by Stephen Pressfield? Have you read that?
I have not.
Oh man, you got to.
I'll have to check that out. Yeah.
It's a great. You're not familiar with him at all.
Mm-mm.
He's
I don't think
he's a guy that spent most of his life kind of ignoring what he should be doing and was working other odds and end jobs, and he finally started writing books. He's an author, and he started writing books when he was like, I don't think he got anything published until he was 50 or something like that, later in life. We good? And he wrote I think the first thing that really popped out that he wrote was the Legend of Bagger Vance.
Oh yes, okay.
Yeah.
I'm familiar. Yeah.
Well, anyway, he's got really great books, and he's got this one called The War of Art, and it's basically the greatest. I think I actually have it with. No, I don't have my backpack in here. It's probably out in the car. It's the greatest kick in the pants, greatest book you will ever read, and what's so great about it is, it's like it's almost something you could just read like one page at a time, and like every day just read a page, and then you're like, okay, no excuses now. I gotta go get my work done. And the way he frames it in that book is like basically, if you have something important in this world to do, which we all do,
Sure.
if you have something important to do, like for you would probably be your music, or maybe even this podcast or whatever, like only you could know. But
Sure.
but when that happens, there's this thing that he calls resistance, which is a capital R resistance. Like it's this thing that where basically the world is going to work against you to make that not happen. Like you're going to encounter mental roadblocks, things like, well, nobody cares about this, so like I won't do it today or whatever. And I wish I could describe it as well as he does. You
Sure.
just need to read the book.
Sure.
But basically, that resistance is pushing on you constantly to not do the work that you should be doing.
Right.
And you have to put that in its place, and you have to be the person that shows up and does the work that you're supposed to do every day, and not just be flighty every now and then, show up and do your work, but every day you come down to your studio and you get your work done. Like kind of like Stephen King is known for that. And he's got a cool book. Have you read On Writing?
Yes,
okay.
I have. Yes, I have.
It's similar to On Writing. It's
okay.
like similar vibe where every day you sit down and you show up and you do your work, whether you're inspired or not.
I've heard people talk about, especially if you're a writer, you 1,000 words a day or 100 words a day or whatever the goal may be. Whether they're good or not, you might just throw them out. But those are the words,
Right.
Well, and you mentioned earlier, something I meant to. This is a quote that I give all the time. But Jason Isbell said the worst thing you can do to a song is let it die.
Yeah,
okay, you mentioned just putting these songs out because you have to, and that makes perfect sense to me, man. I've been experimenting, like I mentioned, trying to produce stuff here just on my own because being able to make time and get everybody together and get to a studio and pay for that stuff, I'm like, that's been a struggle for me. Shit. So I'm like, if I have this at my disposal, I might as well try to use it. And I'm releasing stuff, and it's not great. But you're releasing music. It's my music.
But you're releasing it.
I am releasing it.
You're not sitting on the couch doing nothing. No. So yeah.
And I've got 3 daughters. One of these days, they might be sitting around and man, my old dad used to write songs. You know what I mean? If nothing else, that's a little bit of a legacy. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I don't know. What's you got any shows coming up? Any kind of information you're wanting to pass on? Any?
Yeah. Well, you can follow me on socials, and I'll always give updates on where I'm playing. I've never really played in this area too much, but I guess it doesn't matter. You have listeners all over.
It's crazy. We've got listeners in other countries.
Okay.
Yeah, it's weird.
Okay, so
it's
this
weird.
isn't like a. All right. I have shows here and there. I'm trying to think of any, and I can't right now. I've never played at the Brickside place. But I have 2 shows coming up that I ended up booking earlier this year that I'm going to be playing there.
Nice.
Maybe like
let me know.
September-ish, October-ish. There's one duo show, like acoustic duo, and then there's one full band show.
Okay. Keep me in a loop. If I can make it up, I will.
And I do all kinds of little festivals and things. But yeah, just if you're interested, just give my new record a spin and see what you like about my take on some West Virginia themed country songs. I call it country. I don't know what it actually is, but
what's the name of the album?
Faded Green and Blue.
Okay. And it's on all streaming wherever you.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yep. It's everywhere. Even physical CDs you can buy at joekreitz.com. So you can if you want a good old physical CD. I should have brought you one, but you can get it there too.
I'm sure I'll see you again here before too long.
Yeah,
somewhereabouts.
Yeah.
So you definitely keep me in a loop on the Brickside gigs, man.
Okay.
That's.
Have you ever played
15
there?
minutes. I have a couple times.
Okay. I've never been there. I never even walked in the door, but
no, it's a cool little spot. It's it's the crowd's weird sometimes. Sometimes they're all into it, and sometimes they can give a shit.
Oh, hey,
so,
that is the life of a musician.
It is.
We just talked about Tyler Childers and Wes Charles. That's just the life of a musician.
It's funny. That's one of those places that every time I sat in on a couple of open mics. I helped host one time when Aaron Henry couldn't make it up, and then I've played with Lauren Starkey a few times. And it's funny when you play a couple of songs and you don't think anybody's paying attention. That's always a place when I come off stage thinking, Jesus Christ, somebody stops me.
I know.
Somebody stops me. Somebody I didn't even notice, and they're like, "Hey, man, that song was cool." And I'm like, "Oh, thanks." You stand up a little taller on your way back to your car.
It's so weird how like every crowd that you get in front of is so different.
So different.
And you have to like every time you get up on a stage, you have to like completely figure out how to interact with this crowd because they're all different. It's so strange.
It is. It is. It
I
is.
don't know
that's a hard part of learning to play too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
but
is.
Joe, I appreciate you coming down today, man. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Make sure you guys are checking out the album Faded Green and Blue. Is that
Faded Green and Blue?
Faded Green and Blue. Make sure you're giving it a spin, giving it a share. Follow Joe on all social media pages. Find out where he's playing. And hopefully here in just a minute, he's going to play us a tune or two. Do you know what you're going to play?
I have one I could play, at least one that I could play that comes to mind, yeah. It's
Cool.
a good acoustic one. So.
Sweet. Well, we'll go ahead and take a short break and get you set up for that. And please, again, make sure you're following Joe. Make sure you're following the show, liking and sharing and all that social media jargon.
You seem really into that.
I'll tell you what, I got to edit all this video in a minute, and it's that I'm not into. But it hopefully will be cool. It'll come out looking good, and hopefully I'll be able to release that probably next week.
Nice.
But I'll keep you in the loop on when it's going to release, and we'll make sure we get some promo stuff out for that. And again, we're going to take a short break and get you set up, Joe. And as
I'm
always,
nervous already.
That's right. Nah, it'll be good. Yeah, we can edit it. You can play it 100 times if you want.
Cool.
But as always, we'll see you on the next one.
All right, this is my song off of my latest record, Faded Green and Blue. And this one's called Stepping Stones. My granddaddy used to pay the bills, working hot summers with a hammer and nails. Never made the paper, never got a raise, but he taught my daddy how to build and pray. It all made a way. Why I'm here today. We're all just stepping stones. Ain't no hero, I just do my part, raising my boys and guarding my heart. Try to make this world a little more kind than the one that my folks left behind. Where it all will go, I may never know. All just stepping stones. The stars keep turning, the skies keep burning, and time don't stop. We just keep on learning. With every footprint, every name unknown, yeah, we're more than dust. We're stepping stones. We're all just stepping stones. When I'm in my grave, let my past don't pave your way. We're all just stepping stones. We're all just stepping stones.